stupid.
Yeah, 100%.
And we always, I suppose, a few months ago, I don't know if you could remember, I asked in Soma Coffee Company, does language affect you? If someone called you something, is there a trigger word for you? And you said no, and I said thank fuck, because I don't give a fuck about it either. And that power that people put onto language.
And name calling.
And I suppose that's where it plays into, if you have the confidence of martial arts, where you're going, and I just fucking one hit there and you're dead, like. But then it's like a sit with that fucking frustration where you're going, these people are actually fucking stupid. Like, they have no like concept of life or death, physical.
It's an ignorance, like.
Ignorance.
Yeah, it is an ignorance to it. But like you said, you just gotta weigh up the pros and cons. Like, I'd be the same as you. Like, if someone's called me a name and a chipper, or it's fine with me, to be honest. Like, it means nothing to me, and I'm thinking the same as you. You're just an idiot, like.
Our egos aren't delicate.
But it's not worth it. Then you're dealing with guards, or you're dealing with the aftermath, or like. I'd be more bothered by someone bothering my buddies than bothering me. Mainly because I'm comfortable in myself. I know what I'm capable of as well. But it's when I see people picking on vulnerable people or buddies or whatever else, that bothers me a lot more. Like. But like you said, like it's just an ignorance, like, you know.
But I think it's a shift in the mindset too, because we see in the news and social issues where there's a lot of traction based on people's experience in discrimination and oppression and exclusion from society based on language, right? But then on the opposite side, there's people getting blown up and killed, which is acts of violence. And there seems to be some sort of social disconnect between the acts of violence and people actually dying, that people don't engage with it and actually stand up and express their disgust with it, because they actually can't register it. Where if it comes to language, it's faster to be expressed and said this is not right. And you're kind of going, like, society is so disconnected from the acts of violence.
100%.
It's fucking crazy. And that's why I kind of said, have you ever got that feeling of alienation where you're like, fuck it, like, I don't know, like, does this society actually function for me? Like,
100%.
So
Like you said, I definitely feel different at times, in the sense I'm like, am I the only person that's thinking normal, you know? When if you actually look at it, it's those few people that you meet in the chipper or wherever else, like, they're the minority, you know what I mean? Again, it's easy to be negative and go, Jesus Christ, like, the world's bananas. But they're the minority, like, and like I said, two sides every kind. There's a lot of great people out there as well doing a lot of great things, but if we could just do something to deal with those two idiots, Cork and Ireland and the world would definitely be a better place, like.
And I suppose, just to finish up with the last topic, you spoke about your transition of weight loss. And I suppose prior to that, you've had one world championships, and you kind of, well, I suppose you were on a high anyway, you know what I mean? Like, everything. What effects psychologically did your physical appearance have on you, with the weight gain? Can you reflect on that switch?
Absolutely, So, as a junior, as I mentioned earlier, coming up through the ranks, I would have won a lot of, like, national titles, Irish titles, international tournaments, that kind of stuff. Then when I kind of hit, like I said, kind of 15, maybe 16, 17, 18, I kind of hit my stride in terms of world titles and always being there or thereabouts. So, like, I found that I was always near semi-finals, finals of World Cups, World Championships. Went on to enter the senior ranks. Then it's a whole different ball game. 4 silvers in a row. Won my first world title. The biggest highs you could ever imagine. Like, it's something I trained and watched my dad do since I was 5. So that was always the goal. And it's interesting mindset. I've talked to, like, psychologists and stuff about it since. Like, I find after tournaments I get this huge dump and it's nearly like a post-comp depression, they call it. So you've got your eyes set on a certain goal for so long, and that becomes you, like it consumes you, and after it's all over, you're left with, what now? Who am I? What do I do now? So I could fall into, like I fell into a lot of kind of like weight gain, peak for a tournament, fall off the wagon, gain weight, peak for a tournament, but never a massive weight gain until the passing of the buddy.
Yeah.
And after that, when I gained all that weight, a lot of self-doubt starts creeping in. So that's what you get in the mindset. And you don't even realise the weight gain until you're at it, and then you hit a point where you're like, can I ever be where I was again? And you're watching people that you fought against or you've beaten win more world titles, and you're sitting there 113 kilos, eating takeaways every night in a dark place, out drinking every weekend, thinking, can I ever get there again? And again, it's just about using that energy, even if it's negative, directing it in a certain way, just making a decision and using it, you know. So yeah, the switch of mentality for me would be energy is energy, whether it's positive or negative, and it's just about how you use it and using the right outlet for it. And the minute I flipped that switch to decide that I was going to use the energy for a positive, I've never turned back. Like,
Yeah. And how important then is physical body appearance? Was that a critical aspect of the transition, or?
Yeah, it was. It was at the start, and I think with people that have lost a lot of weight or whatever, body image can become everything, and you can get obsessed with the scales. And this isn't just women; like this is men as well. But then that can become unhealthy. Like you can have an unhealthy obsession with, like, nearly starving yourself because you've that fear of gaining weight again or anything like that. And there's been points where I've been like that. But I think now for me, it's just about how I feel and how I'm performing. So whether it be kickboxing or in the gym or running, I'm doing a lot of running, as I said. Once I'm hitting my targets, I'm setting goals, times for runs, my weights are increasing in the gym, I'm getting faster on the mats. So to me now it's just all about performance. Like, yeah.
What happens when the performance stops?
Yeah, when the performance stops again, we redirect. I'm actually in the shape of my life at the moment, I think. So it's a shame that we can't fight, because I think we'd be adding to the world titles.
Yeah.
But look, everyone in the world is in the same boat at the moment. I'm just looking forward now to travel being lifted so that I can go show that performance.
Yeah, because I think just from listening to you, you've achieved a lot in your life. And I suppose that achievement must play some factor of when you're kind of going down or something to say, look, I actually achieved all this. So
Yeah.
like I think you proved yourself that you're a strong, talented
Yeah.
young person. You know what I mean? That accomplished a lot and seen a lot of the world already.
Yeah.
And does that ever play into a factor where you're kind of going, yeah, like I could kind of be a bit content here and take it fucking, like, I've done a lot.
Yeah, big time. And the same thing, like, yeah, I'm definitely content with what I've done in kickboxing so far. I still feel there's more for me to do, but there's a lot of people around me, friends, family, girlfriends, bosses, all you guys that have reiterated to me that since I reached the top of one thing, like if you have the discipline, like you said, to reach the top of a certain sport and be the best in the world at it, there's no way that can transition into anything else. So there is a bit of a confidence with it that when I'm focused and have a goal, that anything can be achieved.
Yeah.
And I think it's not just me. I think that works across the board for anyone. Like
100%.
hard work beats talent.
Yeah, definitely. It's a growth mindset.
Yeah.
It's not a fixed one, and I suppose a lot of people always say to me whenever they self credit for what you do, like doing college or stuff, but they can't really figure out where. If I said I'm going to college, I've already completed the college before I started.
Yeah.
So when it's completed, it's not off my back.
Yeah.
I have it like before day one. I've
It was done.
it was done.
Yeah,
You know, kind of,
100%. Yeah.
It's done, or else I'm not going to do it. You know,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting, and as you said, you can apply that to anything. If you want to start anything, you apply it. It's just not fixed onto one
No, it transitions.
transition.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're coming to the end of Craig now, and it's a pleasure talking to you. But
And you too, buddy.
I always ask people to share their kind of motivation or any kind of saying they'd like to share, but positive one to people. Yeah. That you might use in your daily routine. Could be saying a quote, anything like that. If you have one.
Yeah, there's loads of them. I listen to a lot of motivational speakers, people like Eric Thomas, people like that. I have actually one of his quotes tattooed inside my arm. It's, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. So you can imagine if you're being held underwater, that desire to just get to the surface, to get that breath, if you can translate that into anything you want to achieve in your personal life or sporting life or whatever else, you'll achieve it, but you've got to want it as bad as you want to take that breath, you know?
Play for that.
Yeah, 100%. So, all in.
All
I like that saying as well. All in.
Cool. We finish on that note.
Alright.
So thanks people for listening, and if you want to like it, share it, and spread the word around, appreciate it. So
And thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Great, thanks.